Hi and welcome to an ichimoku analysis by Paul Boomer. We're on the Euro Yen and a 5-minute chart, and we're just having a quick look to see what happened with Friday night and where it closed on Saturday morning. Now in this section here, price was looking particularly weak. We had a new low come in here and I was looking for that short option, looking at this red line here as the 50% of this range, and we see price shot back up through this area and through the cloud, which I look at as being the major midpoint, and retest it and take off. And in this region we were starting to look at the bull trending and following the momentum, where we now have all the lines in order, the pink being the fastest, then the red, and now the cloud has turned blue, meaning that it's moved into a bull formation, and we've kicked again, and that's where we've finished the weekend. Now I'm just going to come up into a higher time frame and just have a look at where price has been operating, and we see that we have had where price came up through this cloud, shot through, held that position, held that area, the red line, come down, tested it again, and we now have the full bull formation. This pink line is coming from a daily chart and it's coming down as the trend line, and we see that we've got a break of a much higher time frame trend line. We can have a quick look at that on this one, and we see that within the whole pattern that it's only just on the lines. I'll come across, and we see that it's a difficult line to prove, but it has actually got a break in there. What I more wanted to go into was the daily chart, same pair, different charting package, and what I wanted to look at was that we've broken this cloud with yesterday's candle. We've had a big move for the last 2 days, and we've come through that line. And I've marked that area, and we said that the cloud was actually in bear formation. This blue line's coming back up as being the midpoint of these two, and it's coming back up through. So at this point I was looking at that line as being resistance. We've broken it. Can I look at it now as being a support area for this price to come up closer to this trend line or up into this region, which is sort of the midpoint of this action up here. We'll now change up to a weekly chart and have a look at where the bigger picture is, looking for that midpoint, again being a bit of a magnet for price. I'll just bring the chart in a bit closer so that we get a much better idea, and we see that price is attempting to come up to the cloud. We've got above the red line, which is flatlined in this area, that being the high, that being the low, that's the midpoint, and we've got above that area. Can we come up and test these highs and back up into this region? It's got a trend line to break first. It's got this other area being the midpoint of this range and coming up into this area. I'll be looking for it to come up and touch the cloud up in here, and then all we can do is watch price action, see what it's going to do. Now in the charts that I've been doing, I've been trying to take this up to the higher time frames, and what I observed onto the monthly was that we are still below this pink line. Now this pink line in here being the midpoint of the low in here and that high there, and we are below it, so it is still bear trending. We have a bear cloud, red, then pink. We are in formation for doing bear trending. We've broken this low and we've just broken back above it, so price is very much sensitive to the resistance that it just broke, and now we're watching for whether it holds down on those low time frames, but aware that it needs to come back up here. If it can come up and touch this pink, we have the possibility of coming back up into here, which is about 123. Now the ultimate chart that I threw up was out on the yearly, So I just bring up a 52-week chart, and that will give me, over all that period of time, being back to about 1984, the midpoints that I was looking for, and the only one that it's offering is up in that 140 range, and down in this area, being the midpoint of there to here, we have that 125. So if we can hold this level that we've identified down on the daily, weekly chart, but now up onto a yearly, we can see that we have the 125 and the 140 as a target. If we fail to hold this area that we're currently in, and we come back through that resistance that I'm looking for support from, well then I'll be certainly turning directions, and then we'll come down here to see whether this low can hold, and if not, will it come down and test this one down at 90. Thank you, hope you found that educational.